Bhagavato Arahato Samya Sambuddhasya.
Dear respected elder brothers and sisters, and then especially our younger brothers, sisters. I always consider the top most important is we all 7 billion human beings are same human being. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. I emphasize this because a lot of problems which we are facing is we too much emphasis on secondary level of differences, including religions. So now, I think problem which caused by secondary level of differences. So now, I think problem quite enough. Now we are beginning of 21st century. I think we should make every effort, to create happier world, peaceful world. So, I always emphasize, since the problem, many human-created problem, too much emphasis on secondary level of differences, that creates very strong concept of we and they. So now only remedy is we have to go deeper level. We are all same human being, isn't it? So 7 billion human being, physically, mentally, emotionally, same. We all have desire to achieve happy life. So therefore, I always say, wherever I go, I always telling people, now, today, we need sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. And then basic human nature, as now scientists say, basic human nature is more compassionate. That's quite logical. We are a social animal. Any social animal, emotionally, there is something which brings together. That's love, affection. Even dogs or those social animals, limited sort of also altruism there, because the very existence of their group very much depend on a sense of community and loving each other, taking care of each other. So then we are a social animal, isn't it? Ladakh future depend on the rest of the Kashmir, or Kashmir future rest of the India, and then India over 1 billion human beings, but the future of India depended on India's neighbor, and the whole Asia's future depend on the West. Western sort of future also depend on Asia. Like that. Northern world, their future depend on Southern world. Southern world future depend on Northern world. That's now reality. Whether we like it or not, we have to accept that reality. Now we Tibetan, in the past, because of the Himalayan sort of mountains. And also northern side, also there's some mountain. So we little bit isolated. Although we Buddhist, we always pray entire sentient being, Semje, Tamje, Semje, Tamje. But the reality, we only concern our own sort of little places. Including lamas. Lama also, you see, they teaching all sentient being, but practical their own small institution, small monastery, like that. So now that passed, we have to also develop our mental attitude more realistic. Realistic means knowing the reality. And then accordingly, you see, develop certain sort of mental attitude according to that reality. That's realistic. Okay. So, now here, education is the key factor. I think since this sun developed, I think about 4 billion years. Then we call sentient being. But living being, you see, eventually develop about 1 billion years. At the beginning, very small, sort of, how should I say, micro. So then gradually develop, evolution. So then, we human being, human species, this special brain start. So human brain, more because of this brain, we can think because of the long future and far-sightedness. So in that education, eventually human language develop. Then human, eventually education come. In ancient time, education very much related with religious, the text or religious belief. I think in Middle East, the Judeo-Christian, the tradition. That's the basis of education. Whereas in India, I think something different. Over 3,000 years, 3 to 4,000 years, in this country, already developed. Firstly, you see, they investigate where is self. So, over I think 3 to 4,000 years, this country already developed concept of Atma. So that's the basis of life. Go like that, from previous life, this life, next life, like that. So meantime, you see, the Indian civilization, you see, develop more investigation. What's the reality? So then, we want happy life. I do not want suffering. But suffering, happiness, very much related with emotion. So this country, over 3,000 years, already developed the concept of single-pointed meditation. That means shamatha. Or shine, Tibetan word, shine, simtsichiwa. And then meantime, analytical meditation. That's we call langdong, vipassana. I think that's quite remarkable. I think the rest of the world, then at that time, I had not much thinking. about our emotion. But this country, over 3,000 years, already sort of developed. Because they use our brain and analyze. So now these, the practice or concept of shamatha and concept of vipassana is the instrument to tackle our emotion. So, and traditionally, you see, these come from religious text. But now today, I consider these are, although original source come from religious text, but we should take separately. These are academic subject. These days, I am telling the hygiene of physical in our education. There. Now, similarly, we need hygiene of emotion. That's very important. So therefore, now in the past, I think several thousand years, you see, human intelligence, you see, further develop. So education is the key factor for human society, for further development. Now, big question, whether present education system is adequate to create happy human being, happy human community, or happy nation. It's now doubtful. Big question, doubtful. Look, Europe. I think your education, in modern India's education, is introduced by Britisher, now including Britain, the whole of Europe. First World War, Second World War, also a lot of destructive weapons developed in Europe with this brain, Kasota, marvelous brain. It is quite a pity. Such a wonderful brain, but used for creation of suffering on the basis of we and they. So now, as human beings, we have to think how it happened. Then I feel existing education system, so-called modern education, is very much oriented about material value, not internal value. Internal value is concerned totally relying on religious belief. In modern time, the religious belief, particularly the religious tradition, mainly is based on the faith, God or Allah, or some other sort of a different name of God, Creator. In this country, I think even before Buddha, the Jainism, they have the, and also even further, even more earlier, the Sangyasm. There are two groups, Sangyasm, within Sangyasm. One Sangyasm believe Creator, one Sangyasm no believe Creator. So then later, Jainism, no Creator. And then after that, after a few hundred, after Jainism, then Buddhism come. There is no Creator, rather self-creation. So therefore, it is not sufficient pray to God, but we have to train our mind. So, as I mentioned earlier, shamatha, vipassana, these develop. So I feel ancient Indian knowledge about mind and method how to tackle our emotion. These not only just ancient one, but also I feel relevant to today's world. Since modern education very much oriented about material value. Now, the ancient Indian knowledge about our mind, about our emotion, then how to tackle this destructive emotion. Now, these ancient Indian knowledge now should bring into education field, not part of as a religion, but an academic subject, strictly secular way. So that now I fully committed, try to revival of ancient Indian knowledge about emotion, about mind, without touching religion, a strictly secular way. So now here, Ladakh children, here this as an education institution, I think you can make significant contribution regarding revival of ancient Indian knowledge into modern India. I already sort of discussed with some universities, some education institution. I already sort of discussed, and their response wonderful. So now we actually thinking or discuss seriously the proper plan regarding revival of ancient Indian knowledge in modern India through education, step by step. So recently I was in Delhi. The Delhi government also really showing genuine interest about that. So this not simply this is how out of attachment our tradition, not that way. You see, education, something about emotion, about mind, that kind of education is whole world need that. So in that respect, only India have the ability, no other country. So therefore, it is quite important, I feel. So, and then religious harmony, of course, very good here, very good in India. That's my number 2 commitment, promotion of religious harmony. So now, I prefer question and answer, and including some argument, because you see our traditional way of education, as you already mentioned in debate, argument, the argument or debate, we always try to find others as a fault. And then we feel very happy. And then our voice also increasing. If other side say, if you never find contradiction, then your voice also slower like that. Some questions, and then some written question already here. Very good. Then you see, should prepare microphone. And then those people who have some question, then you can ask me directly. Okay.
Good morning, Your Holiness. Your Holiness, as you said, suffering and happiness are related. My question to you, Your Holiness, that why it is important to have socio-emotional learning within one school?
Problem. Individual level, family level, community level, national level, international level. Problem always there. if we really want to know why this problem happened, then if you believe God, please ask God why God creates this suffering. So then non-theistic religion, the suffering mainly related with our emotion. That much I also know through my own experience. See, problem always there, including my own physical illness. Problem there. But this problem, you see, not much disturb your peace of mind if you have certain sort of training or certain deeper understanding about nature. The problem there, but problem will not disturb much your peace of mind. My own case, at age 16, I lost my own freedom. Age 24, I lost my own country. Then, in Tibet, I think, according to some sort of the document, I think few 100,000, few lakhs Tibetan died. A lot of difficulties. Then, unfortunately, some of those narrow-minded, short-sighted Chinese communists, they consider Tibetan unique sort of cultural heritage, including language, they feel is source of danger of separation. They are very foolish. I am not sort of against Marxism. As far as socio-economic theory is concerned, I am Marxist. I really admire Karl Marx's his special effort, you see, to raise right of working class people. At that time, industrialization started. I think working class people suffer a lot. The capitalists, the owner of this sort of industry, they enjoy expenses of that sort of labors like that. Then, you see, he create self-creation, create that concept, quite similar that of Buddhist concept of self-creation. So, and then the equal distribution in money matter. I like that. So, Buddhist monks dress as far as socio-economic theory is concerned, I am communist. I'm Marxist. Rather, I think I make distinction. Leninism, I think, spoil Marxism. That also is understandable. Lenin, Bolshevik Revolution, you see, immediately after the First World War, and then you see the immense civil war in Russia, and Western nations' attitude also not very positive. So Lenin, his the mental sort of mental level, something wartime mentality. Wartime mentality, ruthless suppression, top secrecy, and sort of ruthless suppression, these things. Wartime, these things are relevant. So, the Karl Marx sort of the Marxism, then I feel spoiled. Too much emphasis, political matter. So I totally against Leninism. What do you think? Distinction, original Marxism and Leninism, what do you think? Same or different? You see, my life passing through tremendous difficulties, suffering, too much worry. But they use Nalanda Master's sort of wisdom. I have the ability to keep peace of mind. Okay. So physical level of difficulties, family level difficulties, national level, even international level difficulties, you see, will not disturb or will not destroy your peace of mind. No force can destroy individual's peace of mind. If you have, through training, not blind faith, but through reasoning. So therefore, you see, not necessarily as a religion, but sort of the knowledge how to tackle our emotion. That's very, very helpful, very useful. This one. That's mainly your question. Now, next question.
Holiness, it's my privilege. I have precise questions. When we are talking about the education, really the modern education is more about materialistic, what you have mentioned. And there are so many educationists, but what we are lacking is wisdom that you are stressing in your teachings. There are so many educationists who need wisdom. So my precise question is how to develop, how to cultivate this wisdom through our school curriculum.
My own case, at my age, around 7, about 4-year-old, I came to Central Tibet with the name of Dalai Lama. No. Then I think Tibetan tradition, quite practical. Me, as a holy person, holy child, in ceremony sort of occasion, they put me high throne. When I study, they treat me like just student. It's quite practical, isn't it? And even you see, my tutor keep whip to threaten me. So 7, 8, then I start our monastic education. Quite sort of serious. Firstly, the root text we learned by heart. Then teacher explain word by word. Then I think around 10-year-old, then I start debate. So at that time, I was very, very lazy student. I think many of you, I think, are lazy. However, see, because it's compulsory, have to study. Then final examination, 1959. Then after I came to India as a refugee, I continuously study this book, read this book, think. So eventually, I really found this knowledge. At the beginning, I very, very reluctant, but eventually I found this knowledge very, very helpful. So my own case, not in the name of blessing from outside, no. one's own utilize your own intelligence through study. So now transformation of the society through education, not through puja, not through prayer. So therefore, education. Now, as I mentioned earlier, now in education field should include education about our mind, about our emotion. Then how to tackle these emotions should be part of education. Okay. Next question. So these things will change. Only through education can change. No other way. Here, you see, in Ladakh, I mean, in Tibet also, you see many monasteries. I think over 100,000 monks there, several thousand monasteries there. And some monastery, really, learning center, wonderful. But many small monastery, they simply carry some puja and not a learning center. From the Marxist viewpoint, some of these small monasteries are exploiter of poor people. I think in Ladakh also, I think some of these monasteries, you see, they exploiting faithful Ladakhis. These monasteries should be learning center. For that, puja, not much helpful. Now in plain, a lot of temple, and many pujas you see carry, but not much helpful to promote or revival of ancient Indian knowledge. Those people who performing puja, they may be very expert how to carry puja, but if we ask something, their knowledge is very zero. So the learning or these, I think public level also you see should now pay more attention for these ancient Indian knowledge, how to tackle our emotion, how to bring inner peace. Then India is the only nation who have the ability or opportunity to combine the education about for inner peace and education for physical well-being. No other country, only India, like that. So we actually student of ancient Indian thought, Nalanda tradition. Nalanda tradition, there's some text wrote by Nalanda master, they mentioned blind faith, not much effective. You see, faith through intellectual investigation, that faith is really long-lasting faith. Just a blind faith. You see, I publicly so telling in South India, over around 10,000 monk students there. I telling them, if we carry Buddha Dharma and blind faith way, we will not remain long. Buddhist faith carry with investigation, wisdom, and nowadays combined with modern science, scientific finding, and Buddhist philosophical view. Last 30 years, I have serious discussion with modern scientists. At the beginning, some Tibetan old monk, little reservation, my effort. Now they fully understand. So instead of the fuller knowledge, modern scientific finding, instead of damaging Buddhist faith, but the other round, Buddhist philosophical views, immense help to scientists. Like that. So That way, Buddha Dharma can remain next few centuries. It's quite clear. So knowledge is very important. If may I say so, the Ladakh chaksel, lama ken, not sufficient. Even Lama, I think some Tibetan scholar, I think the Nalanda master, the Bosuban's student, some top scholars. One student, he sort of critically review Bosuban's sort of way of explanation, way of interpretation about the Abhisamaya Alankara. So he criticized his own teacher. That is Nalanda Master's sort of the Nalanda tradition. Buddha himself made it very clear, "Oh, my follower, monks, scholars, should not accept my teaching out of faith, but rather thorough investigation and experiment." That's, I think, really remarkable. Of course, I respect all religion, respect. It really helped humanity over 1,000 years. And in future also, these different religious traditions will help humanity. I respect. But philosophical fields or Nalanda tradition give us the full alert. Why? Including Buddha's own teaching, we raise why. Buddha taught that, why? We never say, "Oh, this Buddha taught, must accept." No. Investigation. That's, I think, something unique about the Nalanda tradition. So Nalanda tradition emphasis, reasons, investigation, and experiment. That's a very scientific way. Okay. So I think blind faith should no future. So in order to reduce that, study is the only way to develop the clear understanding what's Buddha's teaching and combine with scientific finding. Okay.
Sngatodale, Your Holiness. My name is Iftisam Iqbal and I am studying in BA first semester. Your Holiness, it is said that by meditating we develop inner peace and happiness. And in this hectic life, it is sometimes difficult to find time for meditation. Your Holiness, is there any way out?
I think meditation in remote place and close your eye, that's not much effect. Analytical meditation, analyze. So the best period to analytical meditation is when you're facing problem. That's the best period to analyze why, how to sort of face this problem. That's the analytical meditation. So when you have no problem, relax, no opportunity to analytical meditation. Or I think relax with Chang. So something serious and your mind fully alert, then analyze. Analytical meditation. I think when we confront some problem, then analytical meditation very, very helpful. So similarly, practice of patience, tolerance. When you have no problem, and how to practice patience? Tolerance. As a Buddhist, as a practice of tolerance with Buddha, impossible. With your kind friend, impossible. Only when you come across facing with your enemy who criticize you, who create a problem for you, that is the period, that's the right time to practice of patience and tolerance. So similarly, the analytical meditation practice is when you passing through some difficulties, complicated thing, then analyze.
I'm Kunchok Namdul, and I'm just taken my exam in 6th semester. So Your Holiness, my question is that, keeping most of the religions in our perspective, to kill or hurt any being is offense. But current way of life is such that we are doing lots of destruction or the habitat destruction about the other species. So Your Holiness, what could be the solution for such big problem? Because one living being is killed, we said it as offense or we are having sin. But killing, these days we are killing mass extinction, kind of we are killing the whole species in a frequent way. So what could be the answer?
We, human being, I think one way, this intelligence, wonderful. But one way, I think human species of mammal, I think most destructive. Tiger, lion, meat eater, attack animal. But when they really feel hungry for their survival, then attack animal. One time, the Hyderabad, there's one zoo. I have the opportunity to visit there. So the same zoo, one big garden sort of
Fence, within a fence.
quite big park. So same park, one side some tiger, same sort of park, other side some deer. I asked the people who look after that zoo, oh, same place. You see, tiger and deer live together. See any danger to attack? Then he say, the tiger fat, well, not going to attack animal. So then we human species, we see the too much sort of concept we and they, and we men means you see nations or large number of the people group, and then attack other. And also you see we too much exploit nature resources, including animals. So firstly, I think we should make some effort to promote vegetarianism. In Europe, in America, there are a group of people who really dedicated for a promotion of vegetarianism. And in India, Tibetan settlement, all settlement, you see, nowadays, you see, no piggery, no fishery, no poultry. Individual remain as they like, but then become monastery. As I mentioned earlier, about 10,000 monk students. This become monastic institution. And their common kitchen completely stopped last, I think, more than 15 years, vegetarian food, no non-vegetarian food. So that's our small contribution. And then all Tibetan Buddhist center in different parts of the world, many occasions I ask them, individual member, of course up to them, But as a group, they kasoda. Their festival or these things should not serve because of non-vegetarian food. So like that. And then I think the religious belief also, you see, make differences. The theistic religion, animal, birds, these, God creates for because of the me, human sort of the consumption or something. So that also. And then animal sacrifice also. One time in India, the Kamarup, one Buddhist, also the one historical sort of the sacred place. When I visit there, some smell of blood, animal sacrifice. So it is quite sort of sad, but of course we cannot say. According to their own tradition, they have to carry, you see, their way. But generally, I think promotion of concept, respect all form of life is very important.
My question to you, Holiness, how to inculcate compassion, as I always realize about compassion when I am in problem.
Firstly, you see, as I mentioned earlier, hygiene of physical means if you eat something with harmful for your physical, then get rid or not eat that. And certain things good for your sort of blood or your sort of oxygen or something, then we deliberately take. Similarly, emotion level, anger, part of our mind, our emotion. I think in a way we can say anger is part of our survival. When something negative things happen, anger come, expel. But then, and if you analyze deeper level, the action which expel your kasoda, expel the destructive thing. Without anger, you can do. You know, anger comes, anger develops. Your sort of ability to judge the reality, to investigate the reality, will not function properly. So, any other action out of anger very often become wrong. I think we all have the experience when anger fully develops, you use harsh word. Then when anger reduces, you feel shy. Isn't it? I think we all have the same experience, isn't it? So our normal sort of what's the wisdom which understand or analyze the reality objectively. In order to carry that fully, your mind must be very neutral. So anger develop. So that sort of because of the neutral the mental attitude no longer very much biased. Oh, that's very bad. No. Then during that period, the ability to judge what is the reality cannot function. So very harmful. Then also physical health also. Now some medical scientists, they say constant anger, constant fear, constant hatred is actually eating our immune system. Whereas more peaceful mind, more compassionate mind, very helpful to sustain our immune system. That's now scientists say. And then our own experience. I think nobody, maybe some foolish person, otherwise generally I think nobody say, today I'm very happy because yesterday I quarreled with full anger. Now today I feel very happy. I think nobody say that. Isn't it? Even some people may say that it's very foolish. So, the real problem when you face, then without anger, analyze completely calm mind. The calm mind creates the basis of analytical sort of meditation. Analyze how to solve this problem, how to overcome this problem. Then you will find the firstly reality. Then your action become realistic action. Then through realistic action you get the satisfactory result. No matter good motivation or good goal, but unrealistic method always bring disaster. So in order to carry realistic approach, you have to investigate what the reality. In order to carry that, calm mind is very necessary. Then compassion, loving kindness, very strong level, also kind of emotion. But that based on sound reasons. Anger, no sound basis, just emotion. The compassionate mind, through training, is a very sound basis there. So that brings inner strength. That brings self-confidence. That creates determination, willpower. Not due to blind faith, but through reasoning. Then, as Shantadeva says, when you face some problem, you analyze the problem. If the problem can overcome, then no use worry. Make effort. If the reality, the problem cannot overcome, then no use too much sorrow or say worry. Very realistic. Very realistic. When I was young, sometimes I complained to my teacher. Then my teacher used to recite this shloka. Very helpful. Kedichosu yonani talamika chachiku. Kedichosu menani talamika chachibe. Wonderful. Very realistic. Okay. So I think in a practical level, you see, a lot of suffering under Chinese communist, narrow-minded leaders. But we never feel anger. Still we consider them as human brothers, sisters. Only we can blame their blind faith in their own way of thinking. So sometimes feel pity, no, not anger. So, through that kind of way of thinking, there's much sorrow, much better you should face the problem, and we will find realistic solution. Okay, like that.
Your Holiness, my question is that people say that there was a sense of contentment and happiness among the teenagers in the past. Now, no longer true anymore. Your Holiness, could you share your opinion regarding this?
The so-called modern education, and the modern education oriented about material sort of the value. And then generation who come through that kind of education and eventually, you see, create materialistic life, materialistic culture. So, more difficult. So now, we cannot change that through prayer, through us, Lama. Please bless us, bless us, bless us. No, unrealistic. Our own effort. So the key factor now, education field should include ancient Indian sort of knowledge, how to tackle our emotion and how to bring inner peace. Then generation who come from that kind of education eventually, you see, can create more balanced their life. Material value, very necessary, but will not devote money, not that way. So more balance, material value necessary. Same time, you totally devoted, because you will not totally devoted to material life. So inner value still there, more balance. So like that. So I think education, I feel the real sort of the important matter is education. I feel that. Okay. So I heard the rate of suicide in Ladakh student increasing, isn't it? So these also, you see, when materialistic life, there's too much competition. And then something happened, then you really feel without the inner sort of mental peace, without well balance, then you really feel desperate, then take life, suicide. In Japan also, although Buddhist country, but there are sort of so understanding about Buddha's message, not much there. Because you see, these Buddhist monks, Buddhist monasteries, they simply carry some puja, some rituals, not much properly studied, not much share with people the Buddha's message, Buddhist philosophy. So as a result, Japan, materially highly developed and technology, wonderful, but suicide rate quite high. Like that. So like that. Okay. The next question.
My most reverential salutation at your lotus feet, Your Holiness. My question is not actually a question, rather a clarification that I want to seek. Your Holiness just spoke about introducing mind-based curriculum in the school. Does it mean introduction of something like Indian psychology in the school curriculum, or is it a basic change in the attitude of teachers in the whole school environment, as in how when we teach the children, our attitude should be such that we tap the emotional and the values of the children, morality of the children, or does it mean the introduction of a curriculum, separate curriculum, like how the Delhi government has just introduced the happiness curriculum in their education system? So I'm just seeking a clarification, Your Holiness.
Happiness. That's very good, you see, because of the subject. But now question is, what is happiness? Sensorial level or mental level? Sensorial level, materialistic life, also you see, seeking some sort of joyfulness from because of the sightseeing or music, good taste and smell and touch, including sex. These are materialistic sort of, because of the value in materialistic life. Now with mental peace, compassion related with mind, chit. So there are, I think, ancient Indian psychology 6 minds, 5 senses of organs, then 6th mind. All this education itself, you see, training 6th mind, not sensory level. In the West, psychologists, they mainly refer sensory level. Not much knowledge about mental mind. So now in this country, like Shamatha, Vipassana, 6th mind, not sensory level. So therefore, the real peace of mind, or the happy mind, because of the happiness related with 6th mind. So I think in order to explain how to achieve happiness, we should, because of the know the happiness belongs 6th mind, not sensorial. Now 6th mind training. So now, as far as sort of training, training means analyze what is destroyer of peace of mind, anger, suspicion, distrust. These are the source which also destroy our peace of mind. The basis of peace of mind is self-confidence. Self-confidence, you should be honest, truthful. Then self-confidence comes. Is it too much cunning? Then the distrust comes. I think basically human being, social animal. Any social animal, friendship is key factor. Friendship entirely based on trust. Trust based on, you see, if you take care their well-being, then trust comes. Trust will not come through money or power. I think money, power, you see, may develop suspicion or distrust. So therefore, honest, truthful. That related with compassionate, respect to others' right. Not self-centered attitude, but think other. Then, you see, show genuine sort of love, affection to other. That brings trust. Trust brings a friendship like that. So, just explaining these things. So eventually, some because of the curriculum, we already started some work. So eventually, some curriculum will come. Then, they teaching these moral ethics, not like other sort of subject, mathematics or science or these, just knowledge. The teacher can sort of explain according books. Then they mentioning about these deeper human value. Teacher themselves should have full conviction, practice. Then through your own experience, tell student. And firstly, I think they eventually, you see, should develop some kind of sort of very trust, sort of was the relations, trustful relation. When students come to class, full of enthusiasm, because the teacher always showed them sense of concern of their well-being, their long future. And then treat like their own parent. Then students feel very happy. So they educate inner value through action, not through word. So the teacher, very important. So when I carry my study, the day my teacher more smile, I feel very happy, more enthusiasm to study. Some occasionally, my teacher face a little bit sort of, because of the stern face, then I don't like. then I really feel that lesson finish sooner the better. Like that. So I think the not like other subject, the inner value is concerned, the teacher themselves full of knowledge, some experience, then share. Mainly, you see, you should carry the sense of also the responsibility to look after not only just the lesson, but whole life of the students. I feel that. Okay. What next question? Oh yes, last question.
My question to you is, in the beginning you have told about this meditation technique, center-pointed meditation and analytical meditation. As a teacher, which kind of meditation is more effective? If both are effective, then what is the proper time and how to do these meditations? That will be benefiting not only for professional and social life, but also to know the ultimate truth.
可是啊，是吧？ I already mentioned the analytical meditation is much more effective, much more useful. Then we have to sort of know. We should have some knowledge. The system of our mind usually attracted. The mental sixth mind almost become slave of sensorial mind. So seeing something, main mind go that way. Some music, main mind go that. So try to, make some effort. Your sixth mind. So your mind is maintain, because of the maintain the experience of mind. So once you have some ability, then sensorial level consciousness become completely kasara neutralized. Your mind thinking something, some music come, you hear, but your mind not go go out. So similarly, so that is the training of single-pointed mind. So these practice in morning, perhaps in class in morning, maybe a few minutes, you see some kind of meditation may be useful. Then as in Buddhist community, then they recite 신의실로 정왕 시로 점에서는 지대순이 민서 잠배양라 차차로 then 오마르 바자나디 recite perhaps 21 like that. Then some silent meditation. That also the way to train. Firstly, make separation, sensorial level consciousness and the mental level consciousness, and then mental level gain some sort of ability to remain itself, not follow sensorial level consciousness. Like that. Maybe. But then, better, you see, through your own experiment. Then you gain sort of more knowledge through experiment. Okay. Thank you. Now last question.
My name is Kanis Fatima and I'm a student of this college. So my question is, if we are getting a constant negative response from someone, how is it possible not to lose our cool and not to let negative emotion overcome us?
Some people, you see, create the criticism or some problem for you. Then the best way to retaliate is without anger. Some Tibetan official in the past, you see, I know one old monk official. The people usually say, when he really developed very strong anger and more smile, like that. So that's more realistic. When you face some problem, without anger, as I mentioned earlier, analyze the situation. Then try to know what is the best way to hit them. Okay. You see, without analyze fully, then just shouting, you see, no effect. Without anger, analyze. Then try to find weakness of that person. Then use that hit. Isn't it? All these are common sense. Common sense. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I really enjoy our meeting. Thank you. You see, Buddha, you see, stated, you are your own master. We are our own master. So future of oneself entirely depend on oneself. So therefore, you see, we should utilize human intelligence properly. Then, you see, our life will be more successful, more happier life. Okay, thank you.